Okay, hey everybody. Gonna grab a quick drink here. Getting ready to draw the scorpion. So, make sure I got everything set here. Everybody can see. And I think we're ready to go. Hey guys, thanks for coming on. Going with the classic version. I got asked right before I went live, oh, which version is that? It is the classic version. Well, now it's the classic version anyway. Because, the character Matt Gargan got turned into a Venom character for a little while, and I really don't know if they turned him back. So, anyway, we're going to go. But old Mac, in this incarnation, almost could have been a hero. He was a worker that wanted to rob banks because he needed to help his family and or his girlfriend in this case, and ended up losing it. Got busted by Spider-Man and got this outfit, and J. Jonah Jameson helped him get it so that he could stop Spider-Man once and for all, and it ended up turning him into a crazed lunatic. So kudos for that. But yeah, this is one of my favorite characters at Marvel because of the fact that, like I said, he could have been a hero. He really could have been. But and would have been an awesome one too, because this is a phenomenal character. But with going to the dark side the way he did, it is what it is. It was funny when I was sketching this out and I showed a couple people before the show to say it was going to be time. Somebody made mention that that's the, well, we'll put it as politely as possible, that's the most messed up duck head that they'd ever seen, the most messed up duck bill, because they accused me of drawing a duck instead of the tail. So I was just like, really? But it is what it is. People have fun with it, and so do I, so hey, whatever. Now, the reason I did the tail like this is because of the fact that I wanted to make sure that everybody got to see it, and this character is going by the nature of the animal that he's supposed to be the suit representation of, and it cracks me up because everybody's like, well, he's such an aggressive character. Yes, they're aggressive hunters as scorpions, but the funny thing is they're actually very reclusive and want to be left alone, which is why they're so aggressive. When you study nature by the characters that you're creating, when you're creating comics, you'll find out, this one was created because of the fact that they wanted a natural predator of a spider for Spider-Man to be ironic. And, most people create characters now out of representation of the human nature reflecting part of what's going on in the character itself, from the animal icon that they represent. But, to each their own. I don't want to go too scientific or, off the deep end with that. But, little food for thought when you're creating characters. Think about that, It could benefit you. So, I'm going a little hybrid with it. I'm going to put the gauntlets on him instead of just regular gloves because I don't want to do the spandex thing. It's just not, I just want something a little more modern. It's not what I want to do with him. I want to bring him up just a little bit. So I made a hybrid version where he's got the gauntlets and the armored gloves. The shoulders are going to be in here. And you're going to have the shoulder pads back here, and then the back piece where the tail connects. But this tail wraps around in a predatory stance right up front. A couple of people were complaining about, you blocked out the body. Well, understand the reason I did that is because of the fact that I wanted to make it look like the character would. And the first thing you would see in a confrontation with this guy would be the tail. Because he's going to get you to back off real quick. So, hey Tom, glad you made it, man. Thanks, it's getting there. Now, since we're going to go with the traditional striped fabric, representing the scales and segments of the scorpion, I'm not really going to go too deep on this because I don't want to overwork it. So I'm going to keep that line very simple. I know a lot of people like to see the musculature and all that, hand drawn in and feathered out and grayscaled and all that. It's just, that's not my thing. I don't do a portrait style. So, if this is your first time watching, I know you guys are old hat at this now, but if it's your first time watching, yeah, I don't do a lot of the over detailed work stuff because I have a more animated style and want to keep it open. And especially with a character like this, because he could be such a cool character to be worked on in this way. Because an animated style like this can make him really pop off the page, where a lot of people can't because of the disadvantage of the realism, having to do all the technology and all that fun stuff and, breaking it down and whatnot, and I don't have to. So I can block it out and make it look really cool and not worry about it. So, that's part of picking your style. If you have a photorealistic style or a stronger style like that, more power to you, because I wish I could because of the detail. I love it, but it is what it is. So, well, right now, this is what we got. So, I'm marking out this mask here. Now, I'm not going to give him white eyes. I am going to make him have the human, old school eyes, with the the classic costume mask cutout type of thing. Because that's part of what makes him so angry all the time is Mac was trapped in this suit. Whenever they put it on, the scientist that did it, I think it was Smythe, I don't remember right offhand, but whenever he got turned into the Scorpion and they got this suit planted on him, he actually got stuck in it because it was permanent. It attached to his spinal column and would not come off. So that was part of the intrigue about the character is they made him have the ultimate suffering because he couldn't get out of the suit without it killing him. So we have that going for him. But yeah, I really, really dig this character. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man villains of all time. Almost beating out Craven. Almost. But this gets blacked out. And these will get blacked out as well. So that's my take on the character. I hope you guys are going to dig this because, to be honest with you, this is the first time I've ever drawn this character. I have never done this one before. Even through the sketchy stuff of drawing, thousands of Spider-Man drawings over the years, I've never put him toe-to-toe with the Scorpion on any of my work. So I had thought that I had drawn him before, but I just realized I have never drawn this character before. So map out the ear there on the side of the head. Draw that funky little helmet connection that they have on it. And draw out the old nugget. That's a technical term, mind you. So, draw out the bottom lip. Make him do a little more of the grimacing thing. So, I think we got a good start on it. Hope so. If you guys didn't see that, in the comments, Matt put that JJ was the, as in J. Jonah Jameson, was the Palpatine of the Marvel Universe. Because he's been connected to so many bad things. And ironically, he's one of the best do-gooders in the comic industry as far as characters go in supporting cast. But the funny thing is, yeah, he is one of the most good-intentioned but worst executed characters in any attempt of everything he does, which cracks me up to no end. And I think that's why he was designed that way. I think it was on purpose for him to do that. But only Stan Lee can answer that, because he's the one that always made him do that stuff for the majority of his original run. So you never know. Back when most of these characters were developed, it was Stan Lee behind the wheel, and you know, he would give out those props and stuff and say, hey, create these guys, and then the artist would go in and detail everything out and get what they needed done and whatnot, and go from there. But and because he made notes and left them on people's table, he was the post-it king for a while. Please don't argue that point if you believe that he's not the official creator and take the artistic route of, you know, the creation being put on the hands of the artist. I do have some issues, ups and downs with that, and mixed reviews, but that's not this isn't the platform to argue that, so please don't. I know a couple of people will take that and run with it, and yeah, we don't want to do that. So, keep it light, just saying. Now I'm going to draw these knuckles as pads here, because in the original costume, the Scorpion had gloves on, and he always had those freaky little green spots on the knuckles. I don't know why, if they did that just as, you know, maybe they were designed from original work gloves or something. But they always had that little sticker type of knuckle. So we're going to go with that. Now, as far as this goes, I'm not going to draw in all of the anatomy and stuff behind here, because I really don't want to monkey with that too much. As always, my favorite go-to term. I'm going to push this up here and put out that hip. And there's the waistband, which we're going to stick him in the classic green underoos. Push that hip forward because he's leaning forward, so this would be very, very dark at this angle. And then I'm going to add some weight to this stinger. Thickening that up. But you don't want to thicken it up too much, because this has a lot of weight at the base, but not at the tip, because it's this is more of a blade type of situation here. So I know it is in fact a spike, not a knife. So I'm not going to ridge it too much. I just want to add a little edge and pop to it. And show the partition. So we have that done. Now, Yeah, they actually did. It was Stan and Jack for the most part, but you had so many different artists in there that we can't even list. But yeah, they definitely got the job done for sure. Okay, I'm switching my screens here. I've got some pop-ups that I've got to get out of the way. There we go. Sorry about that. Thank you, Facebook. No, it's all good. Okay. Finally. There we go. Sorry about that. Go ahead and get back to this. Okay. Now we got this really cool armor here. We're going to come in and segment and shape this. As we do with Spider-Man, I'm going to keep it very, very simple. I don't want to overwork it and, draw in a bunch of stuff. And then it's like, hey, that's Colossus with a tail. I don't want to do that, so I'm not. Adding in these highlights here. And these fun drop shadows. Trying to make it look more metallic, as long as I don't scribble it up too much. I'll ink that in a bit. There we go. Line that out and make it look a little more metallic. And do a little shading here. Make that pop off. So it has a little texture to it. There we go. I want to make sure that I want to do this the right way here. Moving things around a little bit. There we go. The original design went two ways. They did the Spider-Man style grid across his head this way, which I originally mapped out here, but I'm not going to do. I'm going to go with the classic style, so it goes all the way across. I'm going to do the Scorpion style segments here. Sticking with the original. And I will do these lines this way. So it shows the segmented look, but it doesn't look strange with the follow through. I don't want him to look like he's wearing a Spider-Man knockoff costume, because that was always something that bothered me about some artists wanted to draw him that way. And it's just like, why do that? I'm not going to be one. So, just to let you know. Yeah, we're going to wrap that down like that across the back of the helmet where it separates right there. Because that little segment opens and comes off that way. Or it was supposed to anyway before it malfunctioned and locked him into it. I'm going to do the mutation fang there. And then I'm going to do the eyes last to wrap this up. Right after this hand. Okay. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I've got a shade in this tail here. I'm sure you guys wouldn't have let me forget. Okay. Gonna make it look like a green metal of sorts. And then on the tail, I'm gonna segment it kind of like a Doc Ock thing. That way we can have some texture there as well. And as far as this shoulder pad, it's going to be solid darker green like his gloves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right in here on the edge and highlight it out that way. And then right along this trim here, leave that little bit of highlight, and then that's going to be the underside where the darker green will be for the pad. Just hold it to his armor. There's the backpack for the tail. I want to thicken that up and make it more rigid. And now we're going to go in and cut his eyes. All right. And because I did the mutated version with the fang right here, I'm also going to do the insect style pupils. And go from there. So, with that said, we're going to spin this around real quick. I'm going to line out this hip. Like that. Put in the front edge of the oblique right there. Back muscles wrapping around there. This is going to be dark green here, so we're going to leave this alone. And there we have him. Yeah, I agree, Matt. I think that a lot of people underestimate him. And the Sandman was a great character, but I always like Mac more because of the fact that he's just a cooler looking character. Not necessarily stronger than the Sandman originally, but it's always nice to see a character that could be turned back into a good guy at any given point if he just gets worked that direction. But anyway, knocked him out. I hope you guys dig it. I'm going to color and ink this one up as always and get these things posted. I really need to do that. I've got a public album feature on Facebook now that's going to allow me to do that, and I'm putting them over on the page as well so that you guys can see them all finished up. And until tomorrow, let me see. We've got on the roster the Shocker, and it will be the classic version as well. I have drawn that character before, and I really, really dig it. So, until then, take care, guys. Thanks for shopping with me on this Facebook Live show, and, window shopping around the camera here to see what's going on. And we'll see you tomorrow.